Welcome back, crew, and welcome
and
to the
happy
third
anniversary, 30 freaking years of Mortal Kombat.
of Mortal Kombat.
my God.
We said exactly the same thing at the exact same time I did.
We did not even coordinate
not
that
plan
in
that.
advance. But we just wanted to wish you guys a happy 30 years. We've been playing for, I think, just about almost all 30. Like, I think I started probably 1995, probably when I was like 6 years old. I rented Mortal Kombat 1 from a video rental store, which obviously they're all gone at this point.
Yeah, well, there's a like playtime video or something like. There's a Blockbuster. There's one Blockbuster left.
Yeah.
It's a museum of itself. You could go there if you want.
Yeah, you can actually like rent it as a hotel for a night. That's what they're doing.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's really
okay.
expensive though, and it's booked forever. But I rented that game, and Kano was my favorite character back then. And
Really?
Yes.
You're
believe it or not.
Kano. You're a Kano guy.
At the time, I was little. I was very little. So he did not continue to be, but he did, like I've said before, he did kind of look like Patrick Stewart through MK3, you know. He had to change. He was kind of looking a little bit like he was part of Star Trek at that point. And that was amusing to me at the time, too. But after that, it kind of dropped off in interest as I became older. I got into Sub-Zero and Rain and stuff. And him and I played around the time, I think it was MK2 and MK3, we started playing and we practiced the characters out in the yard. We would pretend we were the characters. At the time, Rain was my favorite. And I remember that being one of my fondest
You were the Rain
memories.
guy. So I mean, Rain was a trilogy. Rain was like 1996.
Yeah, he was
Rain.
Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 as well. So on I had Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on Super Nintendo, and he was part of that list there.
Oh man, yeah. When the trilogy came out, it blew my mind how big that roster was.
Yes.
I'm like, you can fit this many. All of the characters are in this game. I had no business playing the game because I was trash, and that game's really hard. Like, it's so much harder than 3. It has no business being that difficult. But
unless you're Raiden, you can get through with Raiden pretty damn easy.
Just dive across the screen all the time.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
But those were my two fondest memories. Very old school nostalgia kind of things. And of course, later on, we ended up acting as the characters and fighting as the characters. So that was kind of the origin of all of that.
Yeah. When that movie came out. It became a real thing. Like, it took a second. Like, game. But as soon as 95 happened and the movie released, I'm like, oh my god, that guy gets paid to be a ninja. For real. He can do that and make money on screen. He could be a ninja for a living. That's freaking great. And that's kind of inspirational to a kid. And I was PG-13, so I could be a kid and watch that again as a video rental. That is a Blockbuster for my first time. That whole wall, the whole wall was the Mortal Kombat Dragon. It was a new release. The whole wall was the Mortal Kombat Dragon in stone. And I was like, pick that up. I was like, oh, I used to pretend with my friends that I was in it, you know, but I wasn't like any main character. Obviously, I was the short monk at the very end of the line when they're coming in to do the Om thing. When Shang Tsung at the end of he's just there waiting for Liu Kang and them to show up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, I'm the monk right there to my friends.
And they didn't believe you, of course.
Not at all. No. I tried to convince them. Yeah, I was. I flew there last summer. Was it an island? No, it wasn't an island. It was Universal Studios.
Yeah.
There's just a big flashlight down there in their face.
Yeah, that movie was very low budget, but managed to be a cult classic and a massive hit. It really introduced people to the Mortal Kombat series. Would that be your fondest memory? Was around the time that the movie came out?
Fondest, yeah, I would say that's the most clear. But like the other memories, like as far as a memory goes, as far as a wish to happen, because that movie came out and I wasn't paying attention too close to the story. To see Scorpion and Sub-Zero on the same side of the room, I was like, these are my characters all the time, every time, and they're on the same side. But that's not what the story said. The story said Shang Tsung had him under mind control, but but I was like, oh my gosh, they're on the same side. My story, the story of Scorpion has figured out 5 times that Sub-Zero is not the bad guy, but I have to figure it out and wait 5 times. Mortal Kombat 2, he figures it out. Deadly Alliance Deception, he figures it out. 9, 10, he figures out every time there's a game that he's an idiot, and the Sub-Zero didn't do it. To be mad at Quan Chi. So every time I see it, I feel a little happier. I don't know why. And especially when I wasn't dead anymore. You know why?
Why?
Because I didn't have to worry about putting contact lenses in. I can't put them in, guys.
We tried that. Yeah.
I tried very hard. I bought $100 contacts.
That was during the MKX fight. We didn't have a cameraman, and we were just like in a park, like a little wooded area in the park, and he was just trying with no like mirror or water or anything. He just
I dropped him to the floor of the forest, and thought, I'll just rinse those off and put it right in my eyes.
Yeah, I had to stop him because he was going to damage his eye. It seemed like
I was trying.
He was committed to it,
but nah. And it's now canon for me not to have dead eyes anymore. So I feel great about that. That's the moment.
Yeah. So
I am.
I wonder what your guys' fondest memories are as well. I would love to hear in the comments what your guys' fondest memories are. But the Mortal Kombat series, there are so many unique aspects to it. It's the reason that we have video game censorship. I mean, back then, those
when that came out, it was like bananas. Everybody in the working world went, only kids play games. So this thing came out. Every time it happens, Doom, this especially, those two were kind of the turners of the NC-17.
Duke Nukem too, I think, right?
Duke Nukem as well, but Duke Nukem was after Doom. I think Duke Nukem was even after Blood. If I might have my times mixed up, but those games were vicious. They were extremely heavy with their humor and in a very dark way, and I really like those games. So,
yep.
But yeah, when you're young, you play them anyway. You're just not supposed to.
Your mom doesn't stop you. Most of the time, you get away with it. And
so yeah, what is your earliest? Because something about Mortal Kombat is, except for the animated show and the movie, it's always been violent. It's always been an older intended audience. But I'm guessing all of you out there have started with Mortal Kombat sub 13. I'm guessing.
Some of them, even younger than we started. And as you said, the wackiness of the earlier games too, being able to do friendships and stuff, that really appealed to me as a kid. The silliness built
friendships, the animalities, they were trying to just fill up. Every time they made a game, they were trying to fill up whatever it went out on, the disc, the cartridge, whatever. They were just trying to max out the data every single time. That's where the crypts come in. So many unique
characters with interesting backstories, unique designs. It just really hit on all levels for me as a kid. And Sub-Zero was my favorite compared to Scorpion. Of the two ninjas, I did definitely prefer Sub-Zero. So I know I've said Rain and Kano, and I haven't gotten to the Sub-Zero part, but I did a little bit later than that start to get into Sub-Zero. It's actually through Rain, I believe, even though Rain kind of ripped off Sub-Zero's moves. So
I always like Scorpion just because he's the only one that spoke. But playing Sub-Zero felt easier to me. Like, to play as him I was like, okay, I can get further in the game if I'm Sub-Zero than Scorpion.
I always
At
felt
the
it was
time.
the other way.
You did.
Yeah, I mean, isn't Sub-Zero, I mean, Scorpion usually the introductory kind of character for the game?
Well, he is like the third chapter in MK9, so he's always one or two. He's always like you're introduced to the game through this character, and but then you fight him later, and he pisses you off.
Yeah, he can be really, really ruthless, and I know that from lots of experiences. But we're wondering too what your guys' favorite parts of Mortal Kombat are. Not just like the time period or the game or the movie, but what aspects of it you love the most. We're just trying to celebrate these 30 years. Thank you to Ed Boone, John Tobias, the rest of the team, Dan Forden. Oh God, I'm going to forget some names here. John Turk. I feel like that's one of them too. I don't know. I can't remember all the names.
He's either one of the guys
no, wait,
or a wrestler.
That's Sub-Zero. That's MK3 Sub-Zero. He just popped in my head.
Oh yeah, that's the actor that played him.
Yes. All of them
Turk.
as well.
Why is Turk always
Cena.
a big guy? You know, like in MMA, the Shark Turk.
I don't know, but if you see that guy in his earlier days, he did football. He played football, and he looked big then as a kid too. So he was always ready to be this massive Sub-Zero.
Had to be a huge guy. He had to be absolutely enormous to be scaled down with digitization to get rid of the halo. So everybody is very thinner, like very much. When they digitize and go back in. So those guys are even bigger than you remember.
Yes, and much love and respect to everybody that came together to make that possible and to make our childhoods better. It was a great escape for me from like dark moments in my childhood, and I'm sure it was for lots of you as well, and the fond memories. So we'd love to hear in the comments what your fondest memories are. Scorpion, Anthony. And I'm a little confused with the outfit. It's like I don't know which one.
I was ready to go into what the next thing is going to be, so I didn't want to have to, do a whole lot of reaching over there.
Oh, it looks good. I mean, yellow looks good on you. I mean, that's part of why you play the character. But if there's anything else that you would like to say, any other things that you kind of recall or you'd like to just get out about this history, feel free. That's all I got.
I can just talk. I could just keep talking forever, and I don't know if that's a good idea. But yeah, there's been some bad games too, but you don't really care. The universe has been made. They've made the universe, and the whole set off of everything for all the characters. They have to be kind of linear because there's so many of them. Each one has to play its own kind of direction, and we flesh out everybody. That was the idea. These are crazy ideas that they were allowed because they're their own team. Well, they work for Acclaim?
Midway.
I
think
that's
it was
what
Midway
it was.
/ Acclaim, something like that. It was like
it was Midway for a long time, and they were allowed to get away with a lot of things. They were allowed to do a lot of creative things. That team working through some of those things. You're like, how were you allowed to do this? And I'm glad that you did. Even the music and all the theme, that's so weird. Like if you just go into a soundtrack from MK3, MK2, because they have ringtones and stuff, so you hear those just tracks on their own, and you go, this is so complex. This doesn't feel like anything else. This isn't like Doom borrowing from Metallica. This feels very much its own thing. It's trying to be Asian. That's all I really figure out about that. But it's so much itself. And
on that same note, if I can interrupt you there, I'm not sure if you have another line of thought. Do you?
No, I was going into another one. But
okay,
it's different.
Just while you're on that topic, that's why we do Mortal Kombat parodies. I've explained this like once or twice before. The games were originally inspired, they're parodies of 80s martial arts movies. Big Trouble in Little China is like one of the more prominent examples.
Bloodsport, yeah.
The ninja movies that were coming out at the time. All of that kind
American
of like
Ninja. That was a
turned it
good,
into Mortal
awful movie.
Kombat.
It's an awfully good movie.
And the censorship aspect as well. Like, we try and get by YouTube censorship all the time, and I feel like we're more often competing with the censorship from Warner Bros. Than we are with YouTube. So it's kind of turned into this weird, like, this reverse thing where the Mortal Kombat company is now trying to, like, limit in some ways other people's exposure, which feels a little bit like, you know, censorship. Like, every time, like he did the Snowblind trailer, and he just gets copyright claimed, and whenever you have a video like copyright claimed, it's bound to not do as well. We don't even care about the money. It's just, you know, we know that.
Yeah, whenever it's a trailer, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand a trailer for something automatically getting flagged or for it's that's your publicity.
Right.
You're pushing this. It's like a snippet. It's like a song. You're like, I can only listen to 5 seconds of this thing. Do I like it before I buy it?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody can listen to it at any time.
You'd think they wouldn't do that. I know with Deadpool, they took your trailer down, and they have taken some of our Warner Bros. Has taken some of our videos down. I know they're different companies, but it's been kind of an uphill battle with that kind of stuff. So we really identified with Mortal Kombat's roots of the uphill battle that they had with censorship and trying to, like, prove themselves, and the parody roots that come through on that too. And we try our best to, like, embody that in whether it be the scripts, whether it be the characters, of the backgrounds that he made that look like the classic games, trying to use music and sound effects that match everything. It's the love that we have for the series, and all of you guys that have spread that love with us as well, and told us what you like, what you don't like, and all the support we've received from you has been everything to being able to get this done, to being able to get to this point. So thank you for that as well.
Yes, thank you very much for being with us all this time. I mean, I don't know if I've said it yet. Probably have. I'm on a day-to-day basis. Life is very constricting on time to do anything, and so I don't play games. I don't play them unless you see me doing it. So I can't really have fun. Understand? Like, you see me playing a game, that's all I've done. That's all of the gaming I've done. That's why I can't learn and be good at any of the games, but I still enjoy the time there. That's what the game is for. And as an adult, you want to be productive at all times, and this is allowing me to do that. It's allowing me to do all the things I wanted to do: stuntman, comedian, actor, gamer. You know, that's the creativity. That's holding on to that childhood, because the further along you go in the world, the older you get, the more linear it gets, and the more robotic everybody seems to be, expecting you to be. Mm-hmm. And I hate it.
Yeah, and I feel a great sense of purpose and identity, and I got so much confidence through this, so I encourage everybody to get into cosplay for that reason. You know, with my teeth, as I've explained before, wearing a mask helps me to be able to express myself more, be able to, like, laugh behind the mask without feeling, like, worried or anything. So for lots of people, I encourage that because I know that it helps with that, because I got that from my own experiences. So that's part of what we're trying to do with the channel, is to try and get you guys into that kind of stuff. That's what the unboxings are about. The only thing is that I'd like to say on the sort of negative side is it part of why I have difficulty filming and why you guys see me like appear and disappear. I actually, when I do my Sub-Zero voice and some of my other characters, it damages my throat. Like I don't know about him when he does Scorpion.
It used to be really bad. It used to be. When I would wear cloth, anything that was kind of thin, I would constrict a lot more on the vocal cords as the air passes through, so it hurt. I would cough during sketches, but the bigger, bulkier masks for me allowed me to speak more naturally. Still, there's a rawness, especially when I'm screaming, like going to the top, but at a normal level, it can be here and not actually damage me anymore. But
yeah, Shao Kahn though, right?
It'll dry you out. That guy.
What do you want?
Yeah, I like him, but he has nothing in front of his face. So I'm always as low as I can get. As low as I can get in here. And screaming as loud as I can. At the lowest setting. That is a lot. So Shao Kahn always wears me out. Reptile does too, because his opening is so small.
I did it!
Oh, my eyeballs! Oh, now you have to eat somebody else's eyeballs and get them back!
Terrible.
It's such a small allowance of air that's allowed to pass through. It sometimes it hurts to do. I've actually changed his voice over time to not do what it used to do, and tickle me into a cough, like constantly. So now it kind of sits in a weird Jerry Lewis area.
Yeah, we just did something the other day. We did Sub-Zero's MK9, and that was only like 20 minutes long. But after that, my voice was gone. That's all it took.
He sounded all raw, right? It was just
Yeah.
talking to him after. It's like, geez, drink some water.
Yeah, so that's what it can do, and doing these characters for so long, that's the expected tone. You know, if I change my voice, then people are going to be like, why don't you sound like you used to sound? And so,
Well, I'm going to ask you this, because you released the Halloween 13 best kills on the Halloween, right? I just saw it. And I heard your voice several times in the past, and it was a different voice you used. You changed it like I did. I changed it from the Ask a Ninja impression to mine, and you used to sound a little bit not as raspy, but then you went into raspier. And I was wondering if that decision is what is hurting you more now, or if it hurt you more to do it back then.
it did, when you were talking about the cloth, it did hurt more back then, especially because the fabric that I had, if you remember.
Oh, yes.
It was impossible to breathe through.
It's not a breathable fabric.
That there was some breathability to, but this was like as polyester as it comes.
Well, I'm in it, so just pick me. I'm the best character in the game anyway.
I don't want to pick you. You look like Alec Baldwin.
Those were my younger days when I could just go topless anytime.
What do you want?
You could not really, so it was more difficult back then. But over the years, I've damaged my throat, and that's also been partially because my teeth bleed a lot with my tooth disease, and the blood kind of gets down into my throat as well, and that's been kind of like getting worse over the years type of thing. So if you notice that my characters' voices have changed in a negative way, that's because I can't do those same tones anymore, because either I've aged and the vocal cords change, or because of just all the kind of long-term damage, and I'm kind of worried.
At least you don't
about
sound
that.
like Steve-O right now. I mean, it could go the other way. You could get stuck in the voice forever.
Oh yeah, that would suck, but it wouldn't be so bad, because that
Steve-O,
voice
by the
was
way.
crafted through trying to have like a somewhat funny tone while also being the serious guy. You helped me create that voice as well, and it was when we were doing a little bit more of a contrast between the characters, where Scorpion was a complete idiot and Sub-Zero was always the guy that was, and he still is for the most part when like the Halloween videos and stuff come along.
It depends. You've got to have one over the other. If there's two or more characters on the screen at once, it's the comedy math. You have to have somebody that's you, the voice of reason, the audience perspective. If that doesn't exist, the craziness on top of craziness will just make us look stupid.
Yep. Yeah, so that's a lot of it for me. I also get a lot of social anxiety. I'm sure that a lot of people can identify with that as well. Before filmings, I usually don't sleep. He has trouble with that as well too.
Work hours.
Before filming, you don't usually sleep, right? Not much, anyway.
No, because especially it's going toward the weekend, so it's usually a heavy headed after a long day. So I'll usually go to bed very late in the morning, like 5, 7 ish, something like that, and then wake up and be like, okay, now I have to get to bed again by 9 to wake up to make up immediately, and it doesn't work. So I never sleep that Sunday.
Yeah,
so that's why I look like this.
This video is turned into kind of a little bit more of like backstory on like how we.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. This is 30 years of Mortal Kombat. We've done 12 years.
Yeah, we've been doing this for over 12 years now, and in a couple days, actually, by the time this video is out, we'll have been doing YouTube videos for over 13, and this has been almost all of it. You know, it's been Mortal Kombat focused, and we really appreciate all the help on that. I just figured I might as well go into like some of those questions are always like, hey, where's Sub-Zero? Where's Sub-Zero? And that might be a little bit more of a summed up version. It's damaging, so I kind of take a step back and go, I've been damaging my throat. It's been pretty stressful at times, and I'm trying to have like a balance there. So if you see me like reappear, disappear, or do different types of content, then that is where that's coming from. It's not like any lack of interest in Mortal Kombat. I'm still just as interested in making content in this community and in the series. You know, I'm not as into Mortal Kombat 11 as I was into the original games, but the love has not died, and they still have a lot of aspects of the newer games that I adore too. So that's all I have to say. I've been talking a while.
Yeah, so for 30 years of Mortal Kombat in general, and for 12 years of like straight of us playing Scorpion and Sub-Zero, I don't know if there's anybody else that's done that, but we thank you for being here for all those years. Some of you have been here from the beginning. Some of you just coming back to visit. You're saying hello, hey, I remember you guys. Yeah, we haven't stopped. We're still doing it.
Thanks to you guys.
You give us a reason to come back.
So we hope that you're enjoying the 30 years, and we'd love to hear your experiences. Sorry for our long rant. We're just kind of, once you get into that recapping and the nostalgia thing, it kind of just...
Well, my camera's not going to shut off yet. So we're going to say thank you, everybody, for watching. We love you so much. Don't we?
Yes, we do.
We do.
There's a heart.
We love you so much. We do the fingers, right? We do that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's also a thing. My camera's going to die. Like, comment, subscribe for more of what we're going to do, because that doesn't work very well if you don't click the bell. Sometimes it doesn't work at all for me. My own videos don't come to me. So, thank you for watching. Bye-bye, everybody.
Have a nice day. Sub-Zero line. Yeah.
Fiery, hot day. It's very hot in here. Look at my face. Goodbye.
Bye.